I met a gypsy.
I mean, I bet crossing that Ironman finish line was it one of those emotional experiences?
Yeah, massively. And I was like bawling my eyes out, and I made Will go and find, because my dad used to drink VB, so I made Will go and find a VB, and I honestly have no idea where he found it from, but as I crossed the line and like I sculled a VB, because it was like, you know, that's like, that was for Dad. And yeah, like I was just it was so many mixed emotions of like, you know, relief, like elation, like sadness and everything else. And I think I'll always have those moments, like even on the weekend when Will won, you know, it's like, God, I wish Dad could have seen this. Or like, you know, for SAS, it's like, oh my God, like Dad, if he could have, like, yeah, he would have been watching every episode and been telling his mates, you know, like to make sure they watch it. And I think that will happen my whole entire life.
Yeah.
But I definitely think as a person, I've learned so much. Like firstly, our family is like closer than it ever was before. I feel like I have so much more appreciation for experiences and life and you know, like little things, like, and it's like taking photos of even if it's just a family dinner, like take a photo, like, because you just learn that, you know, as we did, you know, like that, and it's your whole life's change in literally, you know, seconds, and that I've taken so much from that in what I now and how I live my life now. And that was one of the other things. It's like I cannot say no. Like if you ask me to do something, I'm doing it. I'll work out how to do it later, but like I'm doing it, because that's one thing I have learned. Like it's just like shit could turn pear-shaped so quickly, and like you got to do the things and experience it, and like live life hard
while you can.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. I don't know what made me think about it. I was thinking about it the other day, that we're oddly disconnected from death on a day-to-day experience for especially in Western culture, like in, let's just say, Australia. But I think that you're right. There's so much knowledge in death, and there's so much wisdom that you can find on how to live in death itself. And if death is, it sounds morbid and weird, but if it's at the forefront of your mind, that you will die, and it will stop, and your experiences will stop, and your interactions with the people that you love will stop. And there is that point for everybody, because we're so like, I think maybe it was my grandma, she passed away a few years ago, and I think it was her anniversary recently. And it's weird because you go to the hospital and then they die, and they're not there anymore. It's real obvious for you to see that they're gone, and then that's all you see of it. That's it. And then they go on a truck, and then they go to the morgue, and then they get put in a coffin, and they're like, then you have the funeral and the box is closed, and like the experience that you have with death feels very distant, even when it's like right there in your life. And I think it really fucks people up in a massive way, because you're oblivious to it. There's no contact with it in your daily life, and then you'll have a parent, or you'll have a grandparent, or someone will die, and it's this like sudden event, and then it happens, and then you've got no connection to it anymore, and then you've just got your emotions to kind of like deal with. But if you think go back a few hundred years ago, if your grandparent dies, or one of your parents dies, or your kid dies, you've got to deal with it. Yeah. And it's really, you've got to like bury the person. It's a much more like real experience, if that makes sense. And I think that in our society nowadays, so many people, we're all just so disconnected from it, and it almost makes it so much harder to deal with when it happens. And then you almost live a weird life where you don't ever think that you're going to die, or someone that you love is going to die. But like you said, it's really profound when you experience it, and it can actually change the way you live.
And I don't even necessarily think it's like you have to lose a person that's close to you. Like it might be just a traumatic event, or like an experience where it almost like stops you in your tracks, and it's like, okay, I need to take things in a different direction, or I need to handle situations better, and I'm not one that I don't like to have regrets, and I think that each experience has value for how you continue to live your life. And you know, there's things that I go, oh God, why did I do that? But I don't feel like I regret it, because I feel like you need everything to make you make you to who you are, and then obviously going forward. But it's certainly it's certainly something, in this last couple of years where I genuinely know that I've changed as a person and I look at things differently. And I always was someone who was pretty like fearless. Like I just would do things without thinking about consequences. And I've kind of lived my life like that forever. But now even more so, it's kind of like, well, what are you afraid of, or what are you scared of, or like, are you afraid you're going to fail, or are you afraid you're going to look like an idiot, or like, are you afraid you're not going to get to the end, like, you know, with an Ironman or something like that? Like, what is the worst thing that could possibly happen, apart from the fact that you get an experience from that, whatever it may be? And that looks different to everyone. You know, that might be doing a marathon, that could be doing a jiu-jitsu competition, it might be writing a book, or it might be like starting a YouTube channel, like whatever it may be. Like, it's different for everyone. But being in a place where you're like not afraid to like have an experience that's gonna, you know, you're gonna learn something from.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.